And there we go. Okay, so welcome everybody, anybody that is watching. I hope you have fun tonight. We're gonna pretty much dive straight back into it with one special note. Sandy's back, so is Mark.
Hello.
Recovering from surgery. Sandy was, so she wasn't there, unfortunately, but she's better, or at least somewhat better, and yes, and good to play. So welcome back, Sandy. Good to have you back again, and let's hit a button so that there is some background noise. All right. Well, so where we left off last session was a Thaevan and Vonnir found their way upstairs and onto a ship. They got waylaid by pirates, which they dealt with. Then they rested, and during that rest, Vonnir had himself a vision. That's okay, you don't have to worry about that for the moment. We'll deal with that in a second. So, you actually should be on the map. No, yes you are. You
I
just
can see her.
currently have no health. Let me just make sure. Ah, there we go.
Were the pirates on a pirate ship sailing in an ocean?
Yes, so...
Pirates versus Ninjas arc?
no,
This
not
is
quite.
a fucking huge tower. What the fuck?
Sorry?
This is a huge tower. What the fuck?
Yes. So, so they come up the stairs and found themselves walking out from below deck onto a ship, got attacked by pirates. They had a bit of a rest, and Vonnir had himself a vision. He woke up and most definitely was not himself. Which, interestingly enough, just before Vonnir had his vision, Thaevan pulled himself out of the rut that he'd found himself in,
by rubbing a potato on Vonnir's beard.
Yep, and well and truly pissed Vonnir. So during the fight with the pirates, they had a very interesting battle with the first mate from the pirate ship. And the pirate ship itself was barraging the deck of their ship. Thaevan's thinking and plan out of attacking the pirate ship surprisingly worked to some degree. They were able to stave off the incoming barrage, and definitely made a mark there. Then through the fight with the first mate, they managed to defeat him and the other 9 or so pirates that jumped across to attack them. It was an interesting battle. The following day, Vonnir, as I said, was most definitely not himself, and they ended up going through a bit of a storm, and they were able to, even though Thaevan and Vonnir were most definitely novice sailors, Thaevan proved to be quite adept at following instruction and was able to save the mainsail. Even jumped overboard and saved Vonnir's life after he fell overboard. Then also went off and saved the life of a sailor.
Holy crap, Thaevan MVP.
Yeah, Thaevan really stepped
I
up.
had a really good session, just saying.
Yeah, so...
The glass gods were on your side.
oh, no. No,
it's-
they were most definitely
No, they
not.
weren't.
Oh, okay.
And then to make it worse as well, Thaevan as a character hates being on boats, just hates the ocean.
Yeah, it was getting very seasick. So when it came to sleeping, found the hammock down the lowest part and the most central part of the ship to try and reduce the amount of seasickness. But with a bit of liquid courage, pulled through, and they managed to get back on the ship, by the skin of their nails. They were very close to losing some characters in this in that session, but managed to pull it through.
I should have just let the NPCs die. Just saying.
Well, you got extra stuff out of it, so I mean,
That's true.
there is that. So they then managed to pull through the storm and then pulled into port. As the sun starts to set, and they were paid a little bit for their help in dealing with the pirates and managing the ship by the captain and first mate. Were given a bit of information about the town that they've pulled into, and kind of set on their way. As for our previous group, their previous adventure ended with them having, dealt with Blink and the fairy Bari, who was a grumpy prick in the morning when Vonnir and Thaevan decided to set out, and did not want to be woken up. They finished off that having missed out on 1,524 gems total in the previous session because they found none of them, but we'll forgive them for that. And Gramps had a vision as he climbed the stairs.
I so fucking did. Holy.
Surprisingly subdued, but at the same time possibly tired from the fight with Hasselhoff, who died due to a very well-planned, poorly planned but well executed ability from Vonnir to blow him into lava, of which he could not get out and burn to death, along with pretty much everything that he had. They were able to salvage the Ocarina of Rhyme, but because of the lava that had
so good
had gotten caught in the ocarina, it is damaged and does not appear to be able to be repaired. So the ocarina has a very limited use, but still could be useful. That party had come back in and had gone to rest. Ash, unfortunately, faced off against Vonnir and ended up not faring so well. Was knocked unconscious, and I can't remember, was Ash tied up when she was thrown in bed, or?
Yes.
Right.
I thought Vonnir tried to tie her up I
tied her up before we came
But then you couldn't tie it. But then you couldn't tie it to the bed.
And then couldn't get close enough to be able to resolve anything further. So Ash is currently waking up, tied up, in bed. Jezza, if you look around, you may notice that there is a hatchet not far away from, like a hand axe, not too far away from your bed. Possibly.
I did collect that.
Did you? I don't remember you saying that, but that's okay. All right, never mind. You don't find a hatchet near your bed. Gramps, you wake up pretty well rested, and looking around, all of you notice that, Gramps, you notice that Vonnir and Thaevan are not there. Turtank is not there. He's off doing something else. So you all wake up and the tower is yours.
Oh.
What?
Okay. Oh.
Somebody get now.
Gramps sort of stumbles over and says to Ash, we can't get close enough, my dear. You'll have to get yourself out. Roll like a worm. I believe in you, and hurry up because I have something to talk about. It's very important.
Oh, by the way, you all got the benefits of a long rest, so
beautiful.
Please mark that down.
Yep.
that when I get out of the shower and I roll off the bed,
Just roll out a dexterity check with disadvantage to see how well you can roll out of bed tied up like hogtied.
This is a hilarious visual, I'm sorry.
alright,
Yes,
I'm using-
that's it, Ash. Wiggle, wiggle like a worm.
Get something a little bit. Oh, okay, yeah. So surprisingly, you managed to wriggle out and land on your knees. You're in a very awkward position, but you managed to save your nose from getting broken on the ground by landing on your face. So you did well. Good job. Very impressive.
Is she out of range of her bed thing yet?
Yeah. So she'd be pretty close. Like it's nothing for her to be able to get from that point to be able to wiggle and roll out of bed. So that's fine.
Well, Gramps helps untie her.
Yep.
And says, Jezza, would you mind coming over here? I have something I need to talk to you both about. It seems the rest of the group is not here. I'll fill them in.
Sure.
So, I had the most crazy thing happen last night. After our last adventure, I had a dream, and I remembered how I got here. In a sense.
You seem like the least likely person in the group to
I
remember something.
know!
No offense, you're quite old.
Yes, that is correct, but I'm also not wrong. I remember being in a chamber, being poisoned, and then being thrown out of a window. I was falling to my death, and then I heard a voice, and I woke up here.
Being poisoned
Aside-
by who?
Pardon?
Being poisoned by who?
Oh,
Let me just have a look and see if you.
Was that no, not McDonald.
No, that was the farm.
Hold on, Jera Umeth?
I'll just double check. I'm pretty sure. Jira.
Jira, yeah. It was a fellow named Jira Umeth. He was under me in the order, and I think he was trying to usurp my power, and he got me poisoned, and I was dying, and I tried to lunge for him, but the slippery bastard got me and threw me out of a fucking window. So, aside from a complete blank slate of memory, this is all I have, but it came back to me. At least I now know why I'm here.
Did you also note down your name?
I wrote
Why would
down.
you do something important like
I've got a whole list of stuff here. A name. Was it mentioned?
I'll give you a transcript later on, but yes, it was mentioned. Do you want to share that information, or
Was
keep
it-
it to yourself?
I'll keep it to myself for now.
All right, I'll send it to you through Discord, and I'll along with all the rest of the information.
It's like
Okay.
you don't trust me.
No, I just like that. I like Gramps is Gramps, man. That's what he needs to know. So at least I remembered that, and I think I understand why Team Money was acting so strangely. Oh, I thought that was actually like I actually swallowed something. That's his name?
Yep.
Holy shit. Okay.
It's European, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what I remember. Have you guys had the same thing yet, or?
No. I have like a concerned, like, did he bump his head look on my face.
Yeah, so
No.
it doesn't seem like he bumped his head. He seemed pretty forthcoming.
lucid.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess we need to try and find out some more information on this guy if we can, because if they did that to you and we're all not remembering, I assume something similar happened to all of us.
Sorry, did you ask me a question before? I was reading. I missed
No,
it.
no.
Okay, sorry.
Jezza just, looked at you like you'd hit your head or something
bit
like
senile?
that. But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me like that, J-Town. I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine. What about them?
So, with all that, do you know where we may be able to get any more information, or that's all you can recall from before whatever the fuck this place is?
So, can you guys, can anyone, sorry, so can you hear Sandy?
No, I can't.
No.
Nah.
I heard her talk in the background then when you talked. But that
Oh,
was only
okay, so they still can't hear you unless I've got my talk to press. No, they can't. They can't. You'll have to talk through my headset.
It lights up saying that you're talking, but then
The lights are on, but no one's home.
Oh, sorry.
No,
the
I
whole
didn't.
time I was talking lots, but yeah. Okay, never mind.
No, I don't have any other ideas on how to get out or how we got here. It just seemed like I was potentially dying, and then I was brought here. And judging from the way that T-String was, she didn't seem to.
Wait, did you just call him T-String?
Yeah, I did. He didn't seem all that crash hot the other day. Maybe I should ask him.
oh, it's so hard not being able to respond right now.
Yep. Quick question.
No.
Did who got the Ocarina of Rhyme? Because I can't remember. I'm pretty sure Bari handed it off to someone. Actually, I'm positive he handed it off to someone, but I just don't remember who.
Last I remember, it was described as being like all junked up with molten magma.
Yes.
But I don't remember who he gave it to.
Okay.
I have an off-topic request.
Yes. It was given to you, Jez. No, you weren't there, so it can't be given to you.
Either me and Thaevan were, I think, were the ones that had it, because Gramps walked off. When with the whole Chewbacca with
Alright, well, work out which one of you two got it, sort of just, yeah.
I would have been 2 out of it, so Vonnir.
I guess I have it.
Okay, so make sure you note down the Ocarina of Rhyme. I'll give you more information on that later.
Have I been anywhere that's outdoors with a moon to attune to my Ring of Shooting Stars? No.
No, not as yet.
Damn it! Continue.
Yeah, so that makes sense why nobody was reacting to what I was saying before.
Definitely makes sense.
Yep.
Gramps looks at the other two and says, "Do we have any idea where the other are?"
Hi there,
I don't care where they are. Whereas, as far as I'm concerned,
Silva?
I am going to put a knife in Vonnir's back when I see him.
Iago Silva.
Come now. You guys have your disagreements, a bit of a spat.
Anyway.
But,
Disagreement? He tied me up and beat me to a pulp, just because I wanted a damn apology.
Technically, I think he beat you to a pulp, then tied you up. But continue.
Um,
Well, in the interest of staying alive, I would suggest pushing it deep down inside, bottling it all up, and letting it out at a more appropriate time.
Thanks to the follow.
well, I don't think that's going to be happening, but I am going to be pushing Vonnir something that is very deep.
That's kind of hot. Okay, so should we, well, if they're not in here, perhaps we should try the stairs.
Why are we trying to find them?
No, I'm not. I want to get out of here, but, if the beat's sitting around here all day, perhaps we should just try the stairs.
Okay.
What do you think, Jezza? I mean,
Well, we're not going to get any answers standing around here. I'm curious to find out who this... Sorry, what was his name again?
What was whose name? Sorry.
The poisoner dude's name.
Jira.
Jira.
Gajira?
To be honest, I'm not sure if Jira has anything to do with this tower. It seemed that Jira might have been the one to put me on the, the brink of death or whatever. But
So
I heard the voice of another as I was falling, and then woke up here. I don't think Jira has anything to do with this particular tower, but maybe wrong. But anyway, shall we sally forth?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, so you're heading up the stairs?
First, I want to ask you both. Are you on my side or are you on his side?
I'm Switzerland.
Well,
What's
You,
Switzerland?
Jezza?
they
I'm
make
Swiss
a
cheddar.
Um,
See this fence? I'm going to sit on it.
That depends on whether Vonnir still holds a grudge against me, personally. It was a bit of tomfoolery last time we met, so a little wary
Well,
of that still.
To be honest, so long as the group can cohesively get the job done, I don't care. But if anyone tries to make waves, it's just going to cause more issues for us. I'd rather avoid that. That's
Oh,
my
but
concern.
Gramps, all I want is a sorry.
Well, sometimes you can't get what you want. So,
I
then,
grumble up and walk down the stairs.
Just for the record, that's a lesson and a thing that I'm trying to teach Everly at the moment. So,
Ah, Blink, he did here.
he kind of looks over at you and says, "This place is boring as shit. Any place I can get my end wet."
I'm sure we'll find somewhere. Come on, let's go.
Where are we going?
we're sallying forth.
And
Did
killing
Ash
Vonnir.
actually get untied at some point?
Who's Sally and why are there four of them?
Figure of speech, just come on. Gramps hits the stairs.
So you're going down?
No, seems like my memory hadn't quite returned to me. Going up the stairs, that's up.
Alright.
Up the stairs.
Are you going up as well, Jezza?
Yeah, I'll join.
Alright. Okay. So, as you all come up the familiar stairs, you find yourselves in the open mouth of a shallow cave. Bright morning light comes streaming into the cave. Looking out, you all see, you are high up on a cliff face. Large fluffy clouds drifting below the ceiling and seagulls flying far overhead. As you look out, you see an ocean stretching out the vast horizon to the west. the light bouncing off the bluish-green water. It seems as though it must be windy, as the ocean waters are very choppy. Looking over the beautiful wildness, wow. Anyone would think I'm dyslexic. Beautiful wildness that is the ocean. You see the white sheets of a handful of ships scattered about your field of view. As you take in the view, you notice a trail leading out and down from the cave floor. Sorry, that was a sneeze. The trail is well worn by countless feet. You all begin to follow it, while looking out to see what else you will experience. The trail heads north for a little while. You lose sight of the ocean every so often, but the trail often cuts back, giving you another chance to look upon the glistening waters. The hike down the path is long and a slow process. That's a lie, Vonnir. There are no giant octopuses with 53 hit points. I can promise you that. Anyway, so I'll get.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
The first is, did anyone actually untie Ash at any point?
Yes, I did.
Gramps did.
Okay. And the second question is, are you actually dyslexic and that was funny because you are?
It's amusing because there is the possibility that I am dyslexic.
Okay.
Although, if I am, it must be only very mildly and, whatever. My biological father was dyslexic. True story. I was going to say end of story time, but I'm pretty sure this whole thing is story time. Alright, so I will get one of the 3 of you to roll a survival check for me.
Can we get the map changed?
No, not at the moment.
Oh.
I want.
Okay, but we had all that description. As soon as you said cliff, all I could think of was, we are golden gods!
Well, you're welcome to dive if you want, but I'm pretty sure it's a higher cliff than they were facing.
That's anyway you try to cast.
Just for a survival roll?
Yeah, so pick between the 3 of you.
+2.
Yeah, pick between the 3 of you who's going to roll a survival check. And
Jason, I'm trying to add the things.
someone roll me a perception check as well. Someone who's not doing the survival check.
I think I should do survival. It's wisdom. I mean, I'm quite old, and I think I
Blind
could
as
be.
fuck.
Yes, but also quite experienced and sage-like,
Alright, so just roll me the survival check. I don't need the disguised self or everything else. And
I shall perceive my surroundings.
Alright. Okay.
Gramps is constantly muttering over every tiny little thing.
Alright, so no worries. I got the survival, and Jezza, looking around, you find a gem pouch lying on the cave floor mouth. It's got 20 blue gems in it, 10 green gems, 5 red, and 2 purple gems.
Cool. I didn't grab those, but if you can you just chuck them in Discord?
No, because I put it there.
Okay.
Alright, so you all continue traveling down. Just as it reaches probably about 11 o'clock, you round one bend and you get a chance to look to the north. You see nestled in the valley, between the inordinately steep cliff faces and the ocean to the north and west. The valley has been filled with fields of crops and plantations of trees. However, a town made of slate-roofed timber and stone buildings takes up the majority of the real estate in the valley. As you continue walking, Gramps, sorry, I had to adjust what I'd written. Gramps notices the furled sails of a ship moored at the docks far to the north of the town, as Gramps and Jezza both notice a large stone wall separating the town from the beach and the mangroves that take up some space between the southern cliff face and the beach. Looking around, you all figure that the path you were on will take you right into town. And now I'll move everything across for you.
Okay.
Yay!
So, continuing down the trail, you look out to see that the sunlight is fading, showing glints of pink and red mirrored on the surface of the ocean, which seems to have settled and not as choppy as it was in the morning. Entering the town, you see that the shops along the road have all closed up, and the few people you see in them are in the process of closing their shops. You can hear boisterous laughter and singing down the road. Looking towards the noise, you can hear that the patrons of whatever establishment is ahead are singing some kind of sea shanty along with an accordion. And now I need to change the music. Which...
Is anyone else on the map?
No. So, this is all theatre of the mind.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to go through everything with it. So, theatre of the mind for a lot of this session. And I need to play this one.
Come all you young sailormen, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea.
Alright, so, what are you guys doing? Are you going to head towards the sound of the singing and sea shanty?
Yeah!
I guess
Ash
that's,
bolts off.
Yes!
I guess that's an absolute affirmative. Alright.
Guys, there's songs. Let's go find out what's happening. Maybe there's a dance festival or something.
Oh, goody.
Okay.
Dancing.
Baby shark, do.
So, as you start closing in towards the tavern, you notice its whitewashed stone walls gleam and reflect the increasingly fading light. Its large round windows show a room filled with many tables and chairs, and you can see a portly fellow wearing a stained white apron over a yellow, loose, and comfortable shirt. Racing along the bar serving drinks and taking blue gems as payment. His thin hair slicked over his head gives him some semblance of cover, but you can see that it's tenuous at best. You see the large wooden door completely covered in purple and black spots in a random pattern, and written through the middle in thick white letters it reads, "The Hazy Purple Tavern." Now, as you arrive there, it happens to be roughly the same time that Thaevan and Vonnir also come around a corner and find the tavern.
Oh, how convenient.
Yes, it's not like it's a Deus Ex Machina at all.
You fucking bastard!
No, what did we say, Ash? Bottle it up, bury it down, push it away.
Vonnir!
It's far more healthy.
You owe me a rematch!
If you see it, look at Vonnir. He looks like utter shit.
I put my hand up to kind of stop Ash. Do you stop and pay attention to what I'm saying, Ash?
I stop. Yes.
He's had a rough night. Let him have a drink. Finish your argument with him tomorrow.
No! You know
So
what?
Gramps.
I've had Night
Vonnir
two.
just walks away from this and goes to the counter and asks for a room.
Hey, Ash, I
followed
think you
him
might
and
actually.
poke him.
Hey, Ash, I think you might actually be able to win this fight.
I
So,
swear to God, Jezza, this is not the time to mess with me right now.
Well, looking at Von V-Man, he doesn't look all that crash hot either. Perhaps we should just let it rest for now.
Well, if he apologizes for being a douchebag, then sure, I'll drop it. Otherwise, I'll drop this house on him.
He's in no mental place. I can attest
I mean,
to this.
Vonnir's already walked off at this point, so...
yeah, so he's heading into the tavern. What are the rest of you doing?
Well,
I'm
Gramps.
continuing to try and talk Ash down.
Okay.
Gramps walks in.
Are you guys holding or?
I'm not. I'm walking in.
Alright. Veneer if nobody's gonna hold me back.
Ash, just trust me on this. Now is not the time.
You know what, man?
Okay.
Thaevan, you also owe me an apology for being a douchebag.
At that, I walk into the tavern and ignore.
I,
Oh, and I call out self-righteous bitch over my shoulder as I walk.
Oh, snap. I don't know
Well,
how to respond to that.
I walk up to the bar and I
Alright,
plonk down.
so
How many of us?
as you are all entering the tavern, you're assaulted with a smell of sweat, spilled alcohol, and tobacco smoke. The accordion player, a tanned, lithe? Yes, lithe elven woman with long silvery hair, shaved on one side and pulled into many small and tight braids, ending in a series of glittering beads on the other. On the other? Okay, must be dyslexic. Dancing around a table near the large but empty fireplace, while the occupants of the table have their mugs raised and singing along with her enthusiastic tune. She finishes with a flutter and flare and heads back to the raised platform in the corner, where she puts down her accordion on a stool. As she is doing this, you see the portly bartender head over to the platform, a huge grin on his face, while the tavern patrons cheer and holler. Standing up tall and raising his hands high and wide, he shouts, "Forlorn Halima, everybody!" The crowd continues cheering and hollering while stamping their feet and banging their mugs on whatever they can find. The man indicates with his hands that everyone should quieten a little. As the noise begins to lessen slightly, you hear someone from somewhere deep in the tavern call out, "Freebird!" And the tavern begins erupting into laughter, yelling to be heard over the cacophony. The man continues, "Scumbags and scallywags, we've got new guests tonight. You know what that means now, don't we?" The crowd yells out together, "Buy 'em around, 'cause everything's down from here!" The sound of mugs being clashed together, ale and liquor splashing, and feet stamping on the wooden floor busts out everywhere, as you all find a mug thrust into your hands, and a friendly clap on your shoulders from many of the patrons. And taking a good look around, you'd guess there must be somewhere between 50 and 80 people of all different races, all jammed into what would be a very large tavern space, but the sheer numbers make the space feel quite close and cozy. The bartender makes his way back to the bar, as someone from the crowd calls out, "The game, Salty! We're playing the game!" The call for the game gets picked up and chanted by many more of the patrons, along with the raucous stamping of feet. The barkeep yells out with a hearty grin splayed across his sun-beaten face, "All right, you blasted buggers, shut your traps, would you?" The whole room goes completely quiet, and the whole crowd watching you all expectantly as the barkeep looks to you with a big happy grin and motions for you all to come to the bar as the patrons make room for you all to saddle up around the bar. "So, the name is Salty, and welcome to my establishment, the Hazy Purple Tavern. Where are you all stairwalkers coming from?" Salty looks over you all, raising an eyebrow slightly as his gaze passes over Gramps, Thaevan, and most definitely Vonnir. The crowd cheers and, the crowd cheers. What do you do?
I look at him. Thanks for the ale. How much is it for something slightly stronger, though?
He just takes the cup off you and then just pours some other kind of liquor, like turns around and grabs a bottle, pops the cork and pours a whole bunch of other liquor into it, and then caps it and hands it back over, and he goes, "Anything else?" And you get billed for it.
I'm set. I'm Thaevan, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Thaevan.
I'll probably become one of your biggest patrons.
Well, there's a lot of them here, and yeah. Well, a lot of them live here, actually.
Alright, well, I take the mug and I take a generous swig.
Everyone else sort of cheers along and takes a drink along with you.
Alright, in that case, I chug.
I run up and get a drink as well.
Yeah, you were already
hand.
everyone as they walked in, and the whole thing was going on, was handed drinks.
Yeah. Vonnir doesn't care. He just goes, Gaben just says, "Room."
A room? Well, I guess this one must be very fresh. Anyway, yeah, you're all welcome to stay the night. But I really would like to know a little bit more about you all.
Gramps parks up and says, "Hello, I'm Gramps. I have a bit of a question. The song you guys all messaged before about this, it all down from here. What is this all about?"
Ah, well, you're stairwalkers, and I'm guessing you haven't been here before.
No, that is absolutely correct. We're completely lost.
Well, no one knows where the stairs are that go up. Wow, the captains know, but good luck getting them to tell anyone without charging an arm, leg, and half a body.
The captains, you say? Where might they be?
Well, as you ask that, everyone cheers and takes a drink. He goes, the captains are over at the docks quarters. A big grin on his face. You notice that some of his teeth are a little bit yellow, but not all of them. He seems quite friendly, though.
Okay. So
How does one earn gems around here?
Well, find a need, fill a need.
Can I play some music?
Sure. There's no one playing music at the moment.
Alright, I down the mug and head over to the platform and I indicate for Jezza to follow.
Room.
I'll get to your room in a little while.
You coming, Jezza?
Oh, isn't it morning time here?
No, this is you have basically got into town just as it's starting to go nighttime.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's taken you the whole day to travel down the mountainside.
Well, if the guy doesn't give him his room, Vonnier's just gonna walk out and look for another inn.
Alright. So he just looks at you as he walks out and kind of raises an eyebrow, but doesn't move to make any other noise or protest or anything like that.
Gramps.
I'll ask around for another inn.
Alright, so looking around, the area surrounding the tavern, it seems desolate. There is no one there. It seems like this tavern is like the go-to place for the area. There may be other inns and taverns around, but there's no one that you can see outside. Everyone is all crushed in to see the newcomers and all looking at them expectantly with their mugs poised as if they're ready to take a drink.
Fuck it, I can't be part of this shit, so I just go outside of town.
Hold on. Before he leaves, Gramps walks up and says, "I think I saw my own death."
Uh-huh. Good for you, pal.
Good chat. And goes back.
Okay. So, Salty looks at you and says, it was, Gramps? Was it?
Yes, that's correct, yes. Hello.
Gramps, don't ask any questions. They're playing a game. Every time you ask a question, they take a drink.
No.
What's the question? What's the game?
At that, everyone takes a drink.
I want to try.
Not to ask a question.
Do you like the color of my robes?
Everyone sort of like looks at you and goes, "Yeah, they're all right."
I thought you guys were going to drink.
No, there's Salty pipes up and he says, "It's a game they play with all the new stairwalkers. Yeah, you'll work it out eventually."
We're not drinking. That's not fun.
No, you can drink. We've given you drinks.
Okay. I stop my walking over to the platform, come back to Gramps, whisper in his ear, "I'll fill you in later. Don't ask any questions."
Why?
And then grab Jezza by the hand and walk up to the platform.
Woof woof, buddy, woof woof.
So everyone sort of parts, and a few people look over to you walking over and seem a little bit disappointed that you're not getting involved with it all, but they let you go without any qualms or fight.
Gramps sees Jezza going and hitches up his pantaloons and walks on after.
Okay, so Salty yells out and goes, "Well, come and talk to me in about an hour or so, and we'll sort you out some rooms on the house." And he looks around at the crowd and goes, "Sorry, boys, looks like this is a tight-lipped bunch." And you can hear...
I'm not. It's not me.
At that, one of the other sailors looks up and pipes up and goes, "I bet you're not tight-lipped."
Not at all.
But yeah, for the most part, everyone sort of like groans and sort of like goes around to their tables and everything else and starts chatting away. And yeah, you see the for Leon, Halimar, you know, moseying away around and sort of like chatting away with a bunch of patrons and whatnot. But for the most part, yeah, it's quiet except for the laughing as people make jokes and drink away.
Just real quick, Sandy, by the way, you forgot to do your expertise.
Oh. I don't know what that is.
You double proficiency of either tools or skills. You get 2 of them at this level.
I'll do it after.
Alright. I start playing an upbeat dancing jig.
And Gramps starts doing an old person shuffle.
Jezza, do you join in?
Yeah, I smash my beer as we're walking to the stage. I sit it down at the front of the stage, and then move back up a few steps away and pull out the loot and start playing.
Okay. Well, roll a performance check, and you two Gramps, but with disadvantage.
Oh, it's because I'm old, isn't it?
You're wearing heavy armor.
Okay.
Hold up.
Or you can roll like an instrument. You don't have to roll it as performance. You can roll it as
Okay.
an instrument. That's
Alright,
fine.
well,
Yeah.
we'll take the 16.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
Okay, so you all managed to band together, and surprisingly, Gramps is dancing around. And it's possibly the fact that he's wearing armor, so it almost is kind of like a full body percussion, almost like tap dancing, but like wearing wearing like maracas or a tambourine. He just jingles and jangles as dancing around, and you guys manage to really start to lift up the spirits, and everyone sort of starts stomping away and that sort of thing. And yeah, it looks like a pretty fun time. Now, I didn't think to do something, so I'm just going to do it this way. What is it? It's okay. So with this, the accordion player comes over and picks up the accordion and really just can't seem to slide into the song. Tries for a bit, and in the end just puts the accordion down and claps along. She yells out to you guys that you must be playing together for quite a while to be able to come up with a tune like that. But yeah, as you're all playing away, yeah, a bunch of gems find their way onto the stage, and the cup overfills quite quickly. You end up getting 15 blue gems and 13 green gems between you.
So we get 15, 5 blue each.
Green.
And how are we going to divide the 4 green each? And I'll hand the last green gem over to. I'll throw the last green gem over to Ash.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Gramps doesn't really care. He's just having a fun getting his wiggle on.
All right. So you that takes a little while. You guys are probably playing for... How long do you think you guys are playing for?
Yeah, I'd say about half an hour.
Okay. So you just play for about the half an hour and finish up, and there's cheers and claps, and a bunch of people come over and sort of clap you on the shoulders and thank you and that sort of thing. And there's some jokes being made about the elven companion over with the accordion, that perhaps that she's going to have a little bit of rivalry as far as the music gigs go, but it all seems pretty good natured and no malice meant.
I grab Gramps and Jezza by the arms and pull them closer to me, and I just say we need somewhere quiet to talk.
Okay, so yeah, where are you
Oh,
going?
okay.
Jezza,
Yeah.
we need to find somewhere to talk.
I'll have a look around. Do I see like stairs heading upstairs to like accommodation or anything like that?
So looking around, you can see where the bar is. Just off to the side, there is stairs that run up, pretty much running along next to the bar. So to head up the stairs, you'd be walking straight past the bar.
Gramps is just following Jezza.
I go and I fetch Ash and I grab her by the hand and I pull her along.
Okay. So you guys are heading up towards the stairs?
Well, I'm guessing we'll have to stop and see the barkeep first because he said to see him about rooms.
Yep. Okay. So is that where you guys are heading, or?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So as
Gramps
you
taps on the bar.
so,
Is Ash coming?
I pull my hand out and walk along behind you guys.
Okay, so as Gramps knocks on the bar, Salty looks up and goes, can I get you around? Looks like you guys have earned a bit of a few gems.
I'll take a mug of that stuff you gave me before, and a room.
He just winks at you and goes, not a problem. That'll be a blue.
All right, I hand one over.
He takes the gem and tucks it into a like a pouch in his apron, and he goes, all right. Makes you up the drink. He goes, anything else I can get you to? Well, get you lot.
I think we'd all like a room if that's agreeable.
Yeah, not a problem. I'll cover you for this time. So he hands you the key and describes where to go. And yeah. So says,
Gramps turns around and says to Jezza, "Why am I getting my room for free?" Sorry, to Thaevan.
you were all getting rooms for free.
Oh, okay. I'll take it. Okay, yeah.
I paid
And-
for my drink.
The Gramps turns to says, "That's mighty generous of you, but why are we getting our rooms for free? Don't mind me asking."
Well, as said, it's kind of end of the line. No one can afford the captain's fee. No one gets upstairs. Unless you
You know how much the captain's fee?
I'll tell you about all of that tomorrow. You guys get some rest. But basically, it's just me trying to pay it forward. Yeah, give a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, Gramps nods and looks towards Thaevan to see what she is trying to do.
Well, Thaevan heads upstairs.
Sorry. Even your picture is that of a girl.
No, it's not.
Looks like it.
Character tokens, male, but yeah.
Right. What if I switch to this one? Yeah, there we go. Alright, yeah, but I can't, when we get upstairs, kind of indicate for them all to come into my room.
Okay. So as you guys are heading upstairs, I'll jump across. What are you doing, Vonnir? Good talk.
Jason.
Because I'm pretty sure you have to be here to play D&D, but
Ah, sorry, Mike's muted.
So what are you up to at the moment?
Yeah, I said I was looking for a place to camp out.
Okay, so roll me a investigation check.
On survival?
Well, okay, if you like to actually camp. Like, are you planning on camping outside? Is that what you're after?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You find a spot. It seems like it'll do. The ground's probably a little bit moist. It's over towards the wall that separates the beach and part of the mangroves from the town itself. It seems like the water runs up and hits the wall, so the ground's a bit damp, but everywhere else seems probably a little bit chaotic. You heading over there, you walk straight past some slums, and there's some people that sort of eye you off a little bit eagerly. But yeah, for the most part, you found a spot that you could set up shop outside if you wanted to.
Preferably not near the slums where people were eyeing me.
Okay. Roll another survival with disadvantage, and we're going to put a -5 on it.
Oh, rough.
Yeah, this is one of those cases of like really pushing your luck to try and find somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
So you find a place that is, away from the slums and out of eyesight, and you meander around for a little bit to avoid, them knowing where you've headed to. The spot you find is, not as damp, but the ground is very hard, and there's like rocks and stuff
Yeah, he
everywhere.
doesn't really give to.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just describing it. So there's rocks and stuff like that everywhere. The wind is kind of blowing in towards you, and where you found is kind of like a natural amphitheater, like a mini amphitheater, and it basically just like channels all the wind straight over you. You know you're going to be probably pretty cold, but I'm guessing you don't care.
No.
Okay, so I'm guessing that's where you're setting up shop for the night.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll cut back across to the rest of the party. What are you all up to?
So, Vonnir and I have had a rough couple of days.
Tell me that.
I was going to, but okay.
Rhetorical question.
Which,
So
by the way, where you found you can hear the ocean from your window, and looking around, the rooms seem to be quite comfortable. They're decorated with pieces of coral and large shells, and each room has 2 single beds with a firm mattress and a soft pillow. The rooms kind of, the way they're decorated kind of looks like a way that like a Holiday Inn or like a caravan park near the ocean is kind of like set up, with an overabundance of sea themed stuff, to the point where it's like, oh, come on, really?
Even built inside the toilet seat?
Yeah, it's like, obviously there's no toilet seat, but it's that sort of level. Like everything is over the top, but you get the sense that they've decorated it with whatever the fuck they could find, and too bad if you're not into shells, because that's kind of all there is.
First, before I go into the story, does anyone have kind of some way to make it so no one can hear us?
Yes. Shut the door.
I meant magically, but
I nearly spat my chocolate at the screen, man. Like, fuck.
does anyone have kind of...
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't.
Okay. Do I get the impression that someone could potentially hear this conversation?
You'd probably be... If you're paranoid, you might think that maybe someone might hide out at the door, but, like, aside from...
I have a question. How long does the thaumaturgy last for?
minute.
Yeah.
Minute? No, okay.
But
never
it's a
mind.
cantrip, so it can be
Yeah.
cast and cast and cast. But yeah, you could have someone that's like, literally trying to listen through the lock of the door. But aside from that, you don't think anyone's really going to hear you. Where you currently are, you can still hear a lot of the laughing and a lot of the cheers and everything else from the tavern downstairs. It's not exactly well insulated from the craziness that is the gathering of all of the sailors and tavern patrons downstairs. So with that noise, it's probably unlikely that anyone's going to hear, but it ultimately depends on how paranoid you are.
In game, we could be whispering, but for
Yeah.
the sake of clarity, we'll just talk normally.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay. Look, I know the noise downstairs is probably going to cover up this conversation, but can someone help me move like the blankets and the pillows in front of the door just in case?
How's about you guys have your conversation and I sit against the door and play the lute somewhat loudly to like muffle any noise.
Perfect.
Make it difficult to overhear.
Perfect. All right.
Give me a performance check on your lute, just to see how well you can provide background music that's loud, but
Yeah. So I'm just like jamming.
yeah. Yep, and you're playing quite well. It's a beautiful accompaniment to the conversation at hand.
Perfect.
Okay. Look. So Vonnir and I got here. Would you say 3 days ago, GM?
I'd say
When did we? How many days has it been since we walked up the stairs?
2. So this is the end of your second day.
Okay. Yeah. Look, Vonnir and I got here yesterday morning, and we
And
Well,
by
where
here,
did
you meant on a ship out in the middle
I
of the
was
ocean.
getting there. Look, where did you guys come up the stairs?
Oh, we came from our room, went up the stairs, and rocked up into a cave.
Okay. Well, Vonnir and I walked upstairs onto the deck of a ship.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Well, no. Stowaways are kind of frowned upon.
Oh, what happened?
Well, thankfully we were well accommodated, but we did kind of have to defend the ship that we were on against pirates.
Okay. We're
Um,
alive, so that's a good thing.
And I really, really don't like boats. I barely kept the contents of my stomach inside my stomach. But that's beside the point. And then there was a storm the next day, and we helped out with that, and we got paid for our help. But I also learned some things about this place. So we were smuggled off the ship kind of just before it came to port, just so that we didn't get in trouble.
Oh, was there a captain on the ship?
I'm getting there. But it turns out the people we were on the ship of are a member of this group called the Captains. And basically this level is a bit of a stalemate level. Most of the people who come here give up on finding the stairs up and settle in, or they can't afford to pay the captains an exorbitant amount of gems to be shown where the stairs up are. So basically the captains are holding this whole town hostage.
I see.
No one
How
who-
strong are these captains?
Quite strong. No one here can know that Vonnir and I didn't come to town with you guys. Alright?
Oh. If
Um,
that's the case... No, never mind.
The captains on the ship that helped us would be in a lot of trouble if it was discovered they helped us.
Oh, okay, I see.
My concern is though that no one here seems to know where the stairs up are, and there's quite a lot of people trapped here. And even between us, we're not going to be able to afford the gems.
Okay. Well, for one thing, we have a huge problem. Vonnir has just bonded off into the night. We don't know what's going on with him.
He had an Ojit's vision.
Oh, really? Me too.
Me three.
Anyway.
I don't want to talk about it.
Cool.
Oh, and
The other
point of
thing.
call, don't ask anyone about their visions. Got it?
No, I will do whatever I like. And second, you and Vonnir were both pretty big jerks to Ash. I think if we're going to have any chance of making it out of this alive, we have to come to some sort of stalemate or agreement.
To be fair, I had just witnessed my wife and children being eaten by cannibals. I was in a bit of a foul mood.
You just said you didn't want to talk about it.
I am not.
Besides-
I'm giving you the very basic details. I am not
Besides,
apologizing for my behavior. It was appropriate.
besides,
How
No, that doesn't mean you can take out your shit on other people, walking up and slapping them and such. So, I think you need to think about that as well.
I walk
We're
out
all
of the room.
dealing with shit.
I try and do the nearest to the sad violin that I can on the loop.
I'm just gonna let that go. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I walk out of the room and go and sleep in one of the other rooms that have been set aside for us.
Yep. Okay.
Wasn't that your room?
It was. I've swapped with one of the others.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter whose room is who. It's not like you're, bioscanned when you walk in and it, knocks you out like the beds.
Gramps turns to Jezza and Ash and says, I really don't know what to do. I mean, we're not going to get anywhere without the way things are. And Vonnir is off dealing with his business, and Thaevan's being Thaevan, and, well, Ash is just grumpy with everyone, so what are we going to do?
Did Ash stay silent while I walked out of the
Right
room?
now.
Holy shit, you are too! The quietest you've ever been!
I can confirm.
All I want is apology.
We just heard that she was going through some shit, and she, I said, I don't agree with it, but perhaps you can let it slide. She did just see her family get eaten by cannibals.
Hey, fine, but if she treats me that way again,
Hey!
then I'm not letting it go.
Hey!
Huh? You're not here? Are you in the other room?
Just pointing out the fact you kept saying her. It's he.
Oh, hey! Sorry.
I mean, it's only like how many sessions in at this point?
Yeah, but I keep looking down at the rogue version of Thaevan. Sorry, dude. Okay, well, Gramps, do we all get our own individual rooms?
No, so it's 2 to a room. So with the
Jezza, do you want to bunk with me?
so somewhat Vonnir's not here, so sure.
That would leave Ash
Sure.
with David.
You seem like the most sane out of the group, so...
I am not sleeping in the same room as her. I said I'll let it go, but I didn't
Him.
say that I forgave her.
Him.
Him. Sorry, we just talked about that.
Gramps looks at Jezza, like, longingly, and forlornly walks off to the other room. And,
Which by the way,
on the couch.
by the way, the other room currently has Thaevan in it.
yeah, I know. I'm just not going to, well, I'll knock on the door first. Before I just creepily walk in.
What?
Okay. You don't want to deal with your shit? That's totally fine. Sleeping needs to happen, and it's not a good idea if Ash comes in here. Do you mind if I take the couch?
You mean the second bed?
I mean the second bed.
Sure.
Good night.
The fold-out couch.
And, yeah, Gramps goes to bed.
All right, so I'm guessing Gramps and Thaevan have both gone to bed, their respective beds.
Yes.
That'd be kind of, yeah, yes.
Yes. So Ash and Jezza, what are you two doing?
Our,
Ash said she is going to bed.
Okay.
I am going to head back down into the fray, drink myself stupid, and probably pass out.
Okay. So as you're starting to drink away, roll me a perception check.
Sure. Am I drunk yet?
I don't know. Roll me a Constitution save.
Okay.
Basically, I'll do a save for every, I don't know, half an hour that you're drinking. Okay, so you are still sober in the first half an hour.
Cool.
Perception. Okay, so while you're drinking away, I'm guessing you're mingling with the other patrons?
Yeah, just having a chat, playing my lute, generally just drinking up and...
Alright, well, I'm gonna say at some point you walk past the, in the first half an hour, you walk past the large round windows, and you look up and you notice that it is definitely nighttime, and, you know, the moon is out, and so is the stars, and, but yeah, there's the crowd of people is seeming to swell still. And looking around, it seems like the party that goes on in this tavern usually goes well into the night.
That's fine by me.
Yep.
I would like to drop off some of my stuff to the room.
Yep.
Like, all of my stuff apart from my loot and a few blue gems so that I can't get my shit stolen.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna drink to the point of passing out.
Okay. Roll me another Constitution save.
Sure.
Okay, you're
Getting
not
better at this.
you're not drunk in the second in at the end of the first hour. Every one of these you're knocking off one blue gem as well.
Okay, yep.
See how long it takes until you're shit faced
Yep.
or broke.
So am I just gonna continue rolling until I fail, or?
Pretty much, or until you decide you've had enough. Yep, you're still sober. Definitely still sober. And at that point, it all hits you like a ton of bricks. You are now well and truly pissed. And Salty looks at you like as you down this last drink, and he can see quite clearly that you went from being perfectly fine to definitely not so fine. And he comes over and gives you a pat on the back and says, "You getting a bit seasick on land, are ya?"
So it would... Boof.
Alright, so him and another one of the patrons, they Salty motions to him and they pick you up and they take you upstairs and kind of like open the door, and as quiet as possible they go to bring you in. Ash, roll me a perception check.
Disadvantage because she's asleep.
Yes. Thanks, buddy. I bet orcs do make beautiful lovers. Okay, yeah, you don't hear anything. But yeah, they basically just bring Jezza in and tuck him in against the wall right near the door, and then close the door on the way out. It seems like this is the sort of thing that happens quite a lot, but yeah. Alright. So, I'm guessing that will be it for the night. Just have to quickly do something.
No,
am I even
DM
able to fall
full
asleep, by the
chivalry.
way?
Why wouldn't you be able to fall asleep?
Exhausted. Sleeping on rocks. I don't have a better roll, but... Definition.
Thanks for the follow, buddy. Yeah, okay, well,
Wisdom?
no, I don't think it'd be wisdom. I think it'd probably be more of a constitution
Yeah, that's fine.
check. Yeah, so give me a con check. Yeah. So, you get like very patchy sleep. Like you maybe get like 20 minutes, half an hour here and there. Yeah, you're probably not very well rested at all.
Oh, this is the second night in a row. Poor Vonnir.
Yes.
Well, I can get 3 nights without sleeping, so it's fine. Before I get my next level exhaustion.
Yes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a d20, and on a even roll, you get a dreamless sleep, like in the patches that you do get. On a odd roll, you relive pieces of your vision.
That sounds exactly would happen.
Yeah, so if you relive pieces of your vision, you will tick another
long rest,
exhaustion. Yeah.
Oh, well, exhaustion, jeez.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's like investment. I hack.
Okay. So yeah, you get a dreamless sleep, and you don't tick another point of exhaustion. So
Yeah, but again, there's long rest or just sleep.
let me have a quick look at your sheet for a second. It would count as just sleep. I wouldn't say a long rest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
That
Like
might
count as a
avoid the
night?
exhaustion thing, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't regain hit points.
Yeah. So it's the kind of sleep where you wake up not feeling any better than you went to sleep,
Yeah.
but you don't feel worse.
Essentially a short
Like,
rest.
like every day in RL.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Oh, there was more of this that I needed to expose. My bad. Let me just reveal a little bit more. I thought there was more.
Am I at least able to change my spells?
Yeah,
No.
I'll let you change your spells. So that's fine.
Okay.
It's not the kind of thing that would prevent you from doing that. It's just not particularly restorative.
Yeah, it's fine. No spell slots or anything. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so the next morning comes around, and Vonnir, you awaken to the sounds of the crashing waters and a bell, like an obnoxious bell. It's a ship's bell. It's coming from the direction of the water, and it's just piercing across. Everyone else, you basically wake up and you can hear the seagulls cawing and the sun's up. Jezza, roll me a con save. Let's see if you're hungover or not. Yeah, so you wake up without a hangover. You managed to do all right there. So,
Excellent.
yeah, so you all wake up and the day is yours.
Gramps.
I head downstairs.
I'll tell you what, why don't we'll start with Vonnir, and we'll see what happens, and then move
Okay.
across from there. So, Vonnir, what are you doing?
He's just gonna be wandering around the city.
Okay, roll me a investigation check. Okay, you basically walk around the city, as I imagine you're imagining you are, completely with blinders on. You notice that there are some shops around, but you don't really pay any mind to them. Which, by the way, I should point out, this building here is where the tavern is.
Yo.
Okay, so you find that basically, let me grab this one. This road here kind of seems where the majority of the shops
What road?
are.
There.
They're wandering around. You find a few other bits and pieces. And what I'll do is I'll basically color code sort of areas. This sort of area, once I finish doing it, is pretty much the docks. It's where a lot of the official buildings are and a lot of storage buildings, and you know, also like shipbuilding and that sort of thing. You find a lot of that out there. You find over in this direction, you pretty much get chased out of there fairly quickly. It's a lot of residential sort of things, and people don't really tend to take too kindly to people moseying around in the residential sort of areas. But,
I would say Vonnir is not really paying attention to too much of it.
Yeah.
At the moment.
So what I'm gonna say is like you find your way in there, and then like people turn around and sort of like effectively usher you back out.
Yeah, that's fine. No, he's not really caring at the moment.
Yeah. This area is pretty much where a lot of the entertainment happens, and where the Hazy Purple Tavern is. That seems to be a big point of entertainment. And let me just change the color on that. Oops, definitely. That's changing a lot of the color. I don't want to do that.
You deleted the map.
That's alright. I'll recover that.
Oh god, the map!
That's hilarious.
Okay. And another color. This area seems to be a lot of the industrial sort of area. Aside from that, you found the go with this one. This area here is quite large, but is generally considered the slums. And then yeah, there's some other bits and pieces around, but yeah, for the most part, that's kind of what you find. You know, without going into any real details, because that roll is pretty low. But yeah, so you mosey around doing that for a while, I guess?
Yeah, not really sure what to do, so yeah, it's just moving around.
Alright, no worries. So we'll leave you with that one for a while. The rest of you, what do you all do?
Thaevan heads downstairs and buys some more of the strong stuff.
So
if it's available first thing in the morning, that is.
Alright, so as you make your way down the stairs back to the bar, you find Salty wearing night clothes and drinking a black tea, being in the process of cleaning all the mugs and the bar itself. Salty looks up at you all and at you and rubs some sleep from his eyes while yawning before talking to you, and he basically says, so there are some things you probably should know about Redwater. Do you want to know them, or you kind of look like you may have already heard it?
Refresh my memory.
Alright, well, I don't want to say this more than once, so maybe get the rest of your companions and we'll go over it together.
Alright, well, I'll wait for them, but while I'm waiting, can I have some of the strong stuff?
Yep, so that's another blue gem.
After Thaevan leaves the room, Gramps is up already doing his like mid-morning stretches and limbering up for the day.
Calisthenics.
That's the word I was trying to think of, that word. And then heads downstairs.
Okay, so Thaevan and Gramps are down there. What about you, Ash, and Jezza?
I am probably... Oh, I'm not hungover either.
No, you're not hungover.
Yeah, cool. Well, I will just head downstairs and get a meal and figure out what the plan of attack is.
Alright, so he basically just gives you some food. He doesn't charge you for it. He looks at you as you come down and says, "Well, I hope you're not too green behind the gills. This sort of fix you up." He slides you over some food. Ash, what are you doing?
I am snoring away.
Alright. Well, at some point when you wake up, you're going to realize that
Crap.
you're going to realize that the bird skull bracelet, the blackened one that you got off the body of the hag, is missing.
Yeah, I forgot to say before because I didn't want to interrupt. If I woke up in the room, the first thing I wanted to do was have a look to see if anything was missing.
Okay.
Is anything of mine missing?
No, all of your belongings seem to be there.
Okay.
Ash, you definitely notice that nothing else of yours is missing. None of your gems are missing, none of your other items. It's just the bird skull bracelet.
I run downstairs and shout out to everyone, who took my bangle?
Gramps looks up, goes, none of us, I am assuming.
Well, but I had it last night and it's gone now. Anyone come into the room? And I turn to Salty and I say, well, we are in a city full of pirates.
At that, Salty lifts his hands. He goes, "Whoa, lady, whoa! Don't be throwing accusations around." Yes, myself and one of the other regulars did take this one over here, the tiefling. We brought him in and plopped him down right next to the door, but that was as far as we went in. Closed the door straight behind us and walked straight out.
Did you see anyone come towards the room?
Nope, didn't see anyone.
Would she have noticed that she was definitely wearing it the entire time she was in this area?
Yeah, I'd say she'd notice it.
Yeah. Okay.
Were you actually wearing the bracelet, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Doesn't change anything, but just as an interesting point. So it's gone.
Look, Ash, I wanted to apologize for being a jerk. Look, I can't guarantee it's not going to happen again. It's my personality, and you are a bit of a self-righteous bitch, but I'm sorry for being a jerk.
I run up to her and give a big hug and a big squeeze and say, "Yay, thank you, that's all I wanted."
I kind of push you away.
Yeah.
Like a kid on Christmas.
Yeah.
And I kind of point at my mug as if to say, "Can I have some more of this shit?"
At that, Salty just raises an eyebrow and doesn't blink, just reaches back, still looking at you, grabs the bottle, pops the cork, pours some in, closes it over, and goes, "That kind of a morning person would drive anyone to drink."
At this I ask, do you know where I'd find a flask?
Yeah, I could probably point you in the direction of where to find a flask. You're probably after the bait and tackle.
Alright, and where would I find the stuff to fill the flask?
Now, here's probably a pretty good place to fill a flask.
Alright, wait, you had something you wanted to tell us. At any point in any of this heavy drinking, I have never done a con save.
Okay, so are you absolutely smashing these drinks down, or are you kind of
Yes.
Okay, roll me
Yes.
2 con saves and we'll just see what happens.
Okay. It's funny because I have no bonus on my con. Can I just count them as my 2?
Yeah, that's fine. you're starting to get pretty buzzy. You're not quite legless, but you know in your gut that you are inebriated. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Grant.
You're at the point where you're having to articulate probably a little bit clearer because you're finding your tongue just keeps like wrapping around words wrong.
Alright.
Gramps catches Thaevan's eye and just gives an appreciative nod. And subtly, and then says to the group, after we have a bit of discussion, I think I have an idea if I'd like to run past you all.
The barkeep has something he wants to tell us first.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, Salty looks around and he goes, I think we're missing your dwarf friend.
He's heard it before.
Okay.
And he
goes, well, my name, everyone calls me Salty, but really, my name is Gibby Jomas. When I walked up the stairs into the cave mouth, I went through some stuff. And, yeah, it debilitated me for a while. I kind of understand what that dwarf might be going through, especially if it's recent. I was in no state. I broke down and could do nothing but cry for weeks. The High Captain found me. Called me a salty bitch. Took all my gems and equipment and dumped me off with the RAF. Everyone's just called me Salty from then on. It used to piss me off. So much so that, I decided to, do something about it. So, I made myself a robe out of an old sail. High Captain left me with nothing. Not even my underclothes. But yeah, so took that torn sail robe and worked the fields, taking some pay in the form of grain, and started making some rough shine and a few coconut husks. And started selling it to some of the RAF for whatever they could get me. I dealt with that for 7 years and got myself enough to rent out a shack and started selling 7-year-old coconut whiskey to the stairwalkers and stoopbacks. The first week, I made more gems selling through my hidden stash than the entire 7 years before. Clawed my way to where I am now, some 22 years since I arrived in Redwater. The name Salty stuck, but so did the vision. And, I've got a pretty good eye. I can spot those that have gone through it. Like I know you grey-skinned lady with the penchant for calling people pirates, you haven't had one. Nor have you dark-skinned tiefling. But I don't wish them on anyone. Most of them are not good. It's probably why it's generally considered quite rude to ask people about theirs. But it doesn't stop anyone from telling if they're in a particularly talkative mood. But yeah, I'll give you a bit of a rundown onto what you can expect in this place.
Can I just briefly interrupt?
Yeah.
Why? You said most of them are bad. Is there some good visions out there?
Some people have visions that are here nor there, and some people have the very few and far between, but seemingly happy glimpses. There was a few theories bouncing around with it, but for the most part, I don't really know what to tell you. Everyone sort of has their own idea on what's going on with them. All I can tell you, though, is pretty much everyone seems to be in the same sort of boat. Everyone pretty much knows it in their gut that it's true. There's no lie in them. So for those that have, the horrible ones, I'm truly sorry. But
So you being the barkeep. Like, Gramps told us that he was falling to his death, and then he woke up here. Does...
Oh, Jesus, what did you just tell everyone?
And that Salty looks over and goes, so, definitely rude. Okay.
I would have had no problem broaching the subject if it was coming from me, Ash.
I didn't tell the whole thing. I just...
Jesus, let the man finish talking.
And so I'm wondering if other people are dying or not in their visions.
People do all sorts of things in their visions. They're visions. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. And sometimes the people that they see themselves as in them are very different from the people they feel that they are. So there's a strangeness about it, but yeah, I don't know what the go is, but so Jit, it's definitely pulling some kind of work. I really don't get
There's
it.
that name again.
Yes, well, Ojit's he's an enigma. Pretty much everyone that has a vision will have seen him. I haven't met anyone yet that's had a vision that hasn't seen him. It's kind of why I named the tavern the Hazy Purple. Hazy Purple Tavern. I've only had the one vision. I wasn't game to seek out. I don't want to go through anything like that again.
Oh, holy crap! I have met Ojit!
Yeah, there you are.
I remembered that I'd heard some voices, but not that he didn't introduce himself. So there we go. Cool.
Well, there's some things you probably should know about the lay of this town. It's called Redwater. Pretty sure you've worked that out by now. It's been said enough. Anyway, the captains are at the top, right? They're led by the High Captain. He's a gang of people that kind of started off small, and they were the first group to clear the natives of this area. A whole bunch of fish people and murderous sea creatures. There's still them out there, but anyway, that was they established dominance here over 120 years ago, so the story goes. They began by building the first buildings and making the area safe while looking for the stairs. They control access to the ocean and all the ships. Originally they had noble intentions of finding the stairs up and helping everyone get up and out of there. The first High Captain was killed by a new stairwalker, and the role of High Captain was passed on to a charismatic but very corrupt captain. Since then, the captains insist they've found the stairs. However, they require a pretty hefty payment. They're asking 500 purple gems, 250 red gems, 100 green gems, and 50 blue gems per shipload to get to the stairs. They're always taking people, as new stairwalkers are not uncommon, and many band together to pay passage. They're never seen again, so perhaps they make it, but just as likely the captains kill them off and take their stuff before dumping their bodies at sea. The people of Redwater have stuck around for a while, are divided on which it is. We really don't know. There are some captains that are genuine. They seem to be upstanding, but for the most part, wouldn't trust them. Now, I'm sure you've heard us all mention stairwalkers before. They're kind of the second rung. Everyone that's in on the hunt for the next level or answers to what the place is are all stairwalkers. I'm guessing you guys fall into that category. They're all afforded almost the same level as courtesy as the captains. It's pretty superficial though. It doesn't hold weight with most of the stoopbacks. Stairwalkers still have to pay their own way, however, and are often given discounts because the stoopbacks tend to place bets on them to see how long before they break and become stoopbacks. The stoopbacks themselves, they're the third rung. Most of the stoopbacks see that there's no point trying because all it does is bring pain. I'm definitely a stoopback. I've got no interest in going anywhere. I don't want to put myself through that. But yeah, there's no point. The danger of being a stairwalker, not for everyone. Us stoopbacks, we've settled in Redwater. Decided to make it home. Set up, the shops and the farms, and tend the plantation and quarry the rock and ore, and build everything. This is our town. This is home for us. We deal with building the ships that the captain's commission and everything else, really. You won't find many stoopbacks that have a lot of trust for the captains. And the captains, it's quite clear they think us all cowards to a fault. It doesn't help that the captains tax us for the privilege of being able to live in the safety they provide. And even if that safety is old news, 120 years ago is when everything was kind of cleared out and made pretty safe. Then the lowest tier, they're the RAF. The RAF are those that have given up and not bothering to even live. They fill out the slums and have nothing to their names, tend to wither away and die pretty quickly. However, a handful that live in squalor, they seem to thrive there. The current RAF Lord, a derogatory name for the individuals that seem to lead the RAF, is a grey-haired man called Rat. Rat tends to try and convince the stairwalkers to take care of the remnants of the Sagwin that come through the marshes and attack the slums for easy fodder. It's rare that the Sagwin venture further into Redwater than the slums, but when they do, the captains deal with them. Captains don't even acknowledge the existence of the RAF. Occasionally, a stoopback will have an unlucky time of it and not be able to afford to pay the tax. If that happens, captains take everything the person owned, right down to the boots and pants they're wearing, and throw them in the slums with nothing but the shirt on their back for possessions. Stoopbacks tend to pity the RAF, but also try not to get involved. It's rare that someone will pull themselves out of being a RAF for anything more than that. I was one of the lucky ones, but I guess in a way I was more afraid of withering away and dying than, well, the visions that come, even though I have no interest in them. But that's kind of the structure that you find yourself in Redwater. You give up, welcome to the ranks of the stoopbacks. Of course, you could always push to be a captain, but you won't find a lot of friendly faces from the majority of the population.
On that, Gramps asks, how many captains are there exactly?
I don't know. Don't really keep count. But there's a lot. There's enough captains to fill out, hundreds of ships. They've been building ships here for, since the start. Trying to find the stairs.
So my question is this: if the captains knew where the stairs were, why had they not gone?
Well, I think they've found that they can strike out a deal here, or make a name for themselves, or if nothing else, just live comfortably without the fear of visions. There are many out there that have had a lot of them, and I'm guessing if you've gone through a lot of visions and you find yourself in a place and you get comfortable, that's not a round room.
I also get the impression that the location of the stairs isn't shared with the lower ranks of the captains.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, that's definitely true. Supposedly it's only the High Captain and the High Navigator and the first of the first mates that know, but there are rumors about that some of the others know their way there. It's pretty rare, but there are some people that can come back down the stairs. Some
But
areas.
not everyone can.
No, some areas it seems to be pretty free reign to come and go, but this one's definitely not it. There are still people that can come and go though. The rumor has it that the quartermaster's the one that brings in a lot of the goods that we don't really get access to. Charges a huge premium for it, of course. But
His compass.
I don't know anything about a compass, but
The quartermaster is not one of the captains.
oh yeah, definitely he is. He's one of the captains. The most of the captains would have compasses, but I mean, I don't think there's anything
The
special.
quartermaster's compass is how he gets down the stairs.
Don't ask me.
I'm not asking, I'm telling.
How do you know that?
I know things. Alright, I'm off to buy a flask.
Hold on.
Right.
Hold on, before you go. Is is Salty still there?
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, Salty, I just would like to confer with my my friends here for a moment. We'd have some privacy.
Sure.
Go take a seat.
Yeah, I'd probably go somewhere else if you're after some privacy. I got work to do.
Yeah, no, I meant like go
At one of the tables.
Yeah.
No worries.
I just didn't want to just walk off from him. I say to the guys, so what do you think about potentially, capturing one of these captains or the quartermaster himself? We clearly can't fight our way through this.
Okay, look, I faced one of the higher up captains. That's not gonna happen.
What? You faced a captain by yourself?
No.
With who?
There was a group of us against a pirate ship, but I'm pretty sure the first mate was a captain.
Okay.
If the higher up captains are anything like the first mate I came across, like, I wouldn't have stood a chance if it wasn't for the fact that there was a large group of sailors that died in the process of bringing him down.
Okay. What about
Most of the
taking
people
one?
here have been through more levels than we have. In fact, I got the impression that the fact that we've been through so few, it's odd that we've ended up here.
Well, I mean, we don't necessarily try brute force. If we can get a hold of one of the higher ranking ones by themselves, they're vulnerable.
What was the name of the captain of the ship that I was on?
Alright, the captain of the ship that you were on, his name was Captain Soyan and First Mate Davos.
Look, I'll introduce you to Captain Soyan and his first mate at some point. Can I just go buy my flask?
Grant shrugs.
Oh,
Of course.
I have a flask of oil you can have.
I want a flask of liquor.
I was gonna say, how often do you grab like a flask full of extra virgin olive oil and just start drinking?
I mean, unless you're okay with me tipping out the oil, sure.
Well, I don't see the point of wasting them. Yes, you're my friend now.
Great.
Especially if we end up needing to buy our way off the island.
I get the impression that even if we have the gems, we're not actually getting out of here.
Yes, absolutely not. That's a ridiculous sum of money for our own lives. I say we kill them all, but we can't.
Did you vocalize that like with that same sort of exclamation?
Absolutely not.
Because I was gonna say Salty would pipe up at that.
Alright, well, if Ash is willing to give me her flask of oil, I'm going to tip out the oil and wash it out and...
I mean, you would have to like spend like all day just washing out the oil.
Okay, I'm just going to buy a flask.
So,
Sorry, Ash.
Heading up to Salty to ask where
He said the name of the...
Yeah, he hasn't told you where it is, but he did say the name.
Yeah.
So you're asking him where it is?
Yeah, so where was that Where was it you said that I could get a flask?
Well, your best bet for a flask is over at the Bait and Tackle.
And where would that be?
Bait and Tackle? Well, it's actually just behind us. Not far away. You know, just walk around, follow the main strip around, and it's the first building on the corner. You know, he's probably not open just yet. It's probably a little bit early. Which, by the way, if you were to look outside, it's probably about 8:30 in the morning. But yeah, he pipes up and says he'll probably be open in about half an hour or so. He also pipes up and says, you know, finding work when you're a fresh stairwalker can be a little bit tricky. You know, a lot of people don't tend to trust the fresh people, but I'm sure there'll be work around. Your best bet, though, is to go and have a chat with Rat. I know he's got an ambitious plan to get rid of the Sargwin that keep attacking. It'd be a little bit of a favour to me if you could help him out with it. Of course, if you can help him out with it, I'll definitely keep an ear out and see what I can find for you that might pay a little bit more in the way of gems. But it's up to you.
Was Thaevan was the only one in that conversation, right?
Did you all hang back at the table, or did you all walk up?
I think we were just sitting there when she went up to go and ask her about the...
Okay, well then Thaevan's the only one he spoke to. Which, he wasn't trying to keep it quiet, so you could probably have overheard.
How often is your stage open?
Yeah, it's open every night. I mean, if you're going to come in and sort of take all the business off our regular in-house, you might want to strike a deal with her. Sweet girl, but wicked sting on her, I tell you. More than one sailor's found a face full of missing teeth after trying to march in on her.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Fallen Helmar, she lives over in the residential area. Probably wouldn't hunt her out there. Doesn't take too kindly to it. But if you spot her here, hit her up. I'm sure she'll share the stage.
If you see her, let her know we're interested, yeah?
Yeah, not a problem.
Alright. And I head around to the Bait and Tackle, and I know it's early, so I start banging on the door.
Okay, so the Bait and Tackle's right here.
Yeah.
So directly behind the tavern. And you start banging away on the door, and yeah. So this guy, this little halfling, comes stomping through, and he's got a faint accent. You can't, well, obviously you're not going to be able to pick it because you don't know accents, but he does have a faint accent, and it's a real strange sort of mix. It kind of like sounds like a weird amalgamation, like between like German and French and like possibly a little bit of like Cantonese. It's this really weird inflection that he's got. But he comes up to the door, and his hair's a bit damp, and it looks like he must have just come out of the shower or like out of a bath or something like that. But he looks pretty well dressed. He's probably ticking on in his fashion sense anyway. He's probably ticking on. It's a little bit dated, but it looks alright. And he's got blonde hair that are in very neat and very well ordered dreadlocks that taper right down and are tied loosely with a clasp roughly at the mid of his back. And he opens a little like shutter and looks up at you from inside the door, and his brown eyes just like stare at you like completely deadpan for a good portion of time, and then he pipes up and says, what do you want?
I'm after a flask and I'm willing to pay double.
Well, come in. And so he opens the door and leads you in and motions over towards a shelf. He's got probably about a dozen flasks sitting there. It seems like flasks are in pretty high order, possibly because of the amount of sailors that spend so much time out at sea, and also possibly because from your experience on the Bloody Wake, the general sailors don't generally have access to liquor, but you imagine those that do come ashore, like when they come ashore, would probably try and find a way to snuggle in their own supply. Definitely was what Davos seemed to be doing.
Alright. How much?
He just points back at the shelf, and underneath you see three blue gems.
Yeah, I suppose since I interrupted you getting ready, I'll have to live up to my pay and double, won't I?
He just looks you again square in the eyes, and slowly brings his hand out and sort of motions his fingers, almost like all of his fingers, like in a come here sort of motion, with his hand still outstretched.
Okay. Come closer.
And he just holds his hand out, waiting for you to put the gems in his hand.
Alright, I'll put 6 blue gems in his hand.
Okay, so he takes looks at the gems and sort of gently tosses them, maybe, I don't know, a centimeter in the air, barely they leave his hand, and he closes his hands around the gems, and walks back behind the counter and dumps them in a lockbox and locks it. And you notice that the lockbox, he's not subtle about this, but the lockbox has a thick, heavy chain that is attached to the lockbox in multiple places and is chained to the ground. And
Gems get stolen often, eh?
You say that?
Yeah.
He just looks up and says, I get a lot of orders come through. Some of my clientele, not the most honest.
Fair enough. I grab my flask and leave.
Okay. Yeah, as you start leaving, he goes, hang around for a while. I might have some work. Keeping my eye on you. And he follows behind and sort of motions for you to leave, and then closes the door behind you.
How did I impress him when I was such a rude and arrogant bitch?
You notice that he's probably a pretty rude and arrogant prick, so...
Okay. Yep, fair enough.
You offered to pay him double, that's how.
It's probably went a long way towards greasing the wheels, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I didn't want any trouble for getting him early. Alright, I head back to the tavern and I just slam it on the bar.
And so Salty looks at which, by the way, out of the dozen or so flasks that are there are all different stylings. Some of them have got that look like they're hammered out and rough finish, but it's done intentionally, so it's an interesting pattern. Others, some are made in copper, some are made in silver. And, there's a couple that are made in pewter. At least the silver and the more fancy looking ones, you definitely get the feeling that that's probably just gold filigree. It's not really all that much to it, but so there's a bunch of different patterns.
I take one of the rustic looking flasks.
Okay, yep. So no worries. You slam the rustic looking flask down, and Salty looks at it and says, "Well, you must have paid a hefty bit. I've never known I've never known Chenna to open the door before opening time. Good on you. Making friends already." So
I'm
he goes,
sorry, that's just hilarious.
he goes, so what do you want filled in it? Do you want some of my coconut rum? Do you want coconut whiskey? Get you some rye
Whatever's
whiskey.
the strongest.
I mean, I have no way to test the content, but you know, it's all kind of colloquial. This one gets you fucked up. This one gets you fucked up. This one gets you fucked up. It's more what flavor you're
All
after.
right. That one that'll get me fucked up then.
Okay, so he pulls out a banana whiskey.
What?
Yeah.
This is what I get for not being specific, isn't it?
It's actually legitimately a thing, but anyway. So he pulls out a banana whiskey and pours it into the flask and caps it off, and he goes, 2 blue gems, that's a heavy discount.
Alright, I've paid 2 gems.
Alright.
I've had a very expensive morning, just saying.
He goes, I get the feeling you're going to need some work, so, you know. Go and have a chat with
Yeah,
Rat
well-
whenever you're ready.
I kind of got the impression that there might be some work coming around at the... I keep forgetting the name of the place. Where did I just go?
The Bait and Tackle.
The Bait and Tackle. There might be an opening at the Bait and Tackle sometime soon.
He goes, well, whatever he has in mind, he'd probably pay well. You're probably in for a challenge, though.
Yes, well, I think I'd get along well with him.
Well, yeah. It's up to you what you do. I'm not going to tell you one way or another, but there's plenty of work to be found in this town. You're going to have to make some friends if you want to get it, though.
Okay, so just out of game.
Yep.
Roughly how many nips would be in the flask?
I'd say there's probably like 12 to 15 standard drinks. So, it's a decent flask.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just make in the resource section of my thing.
Yep. No worries.
A thing for drinks.
Sure.
So 15.
Yep, 15. As he said, he gave you a hefty discount.
I can see that. He's very generous.
He likes to help people out when they're getting started.
I wonder how much money he's got bet on us making it out or not making it out.
Is that out of character?
Yeah, that's out of character.
I'm just. Yeah.
All right. So now what do you do? As you've come back in, there are a couple of other patrons that come in and kind of like nod to Salty and start. He's sitting down and he starts making breakfast and whatnot. Seems like this place is almost always got people in it. It's a popular spot.
Poor guy probably never gets any sleep. Just as a side note, Mark and Sandy did say they wanted to.
Yep. Which was
Go at
going to be
9:30.
one of my very next questions.
Okay. Ash isn't showing up in Roll20.
No, it just dropped out.
Yeah. The computer. Well, what's the? I don't want to carry on too much longer. I was up with the stupid o'clock.
Yeah, that's fine.
What's? I think. Okay, hold on. So Gramps sees Thaevan come back over and goes. I heard a little bit about some job that the barkeep was asking about. What are you thinking?
You guys can go for that job. I've made a friend around the corner.
What
Wait.
job is that? Didn't hear him.
I don't know.
Well, this is in a dark alleyway, and you paid on site.
No, I was a rude and arrogant prick to the owner of the store, but I paid him double for the flask. And as I was leaving, he said there might be work for me soon.
No.
Look you up and down.
Your business. Your business is your business. I don't care about that. I was asking about what the job was.
Well, ask the barkeep. I don't know. I'm drunk. Tipsy.
Gramps gets up, walks over to the fucking barkeep and says, "What was that goddamn job you just mentioned?" To the drunkard who won't tell us.
Um,
By the way, I'm gonna take one nip from my
yeah, no worries. Give me a constitution check. I'll save.
I'm turning into a drunk now.
Yeah,
It's happened.
raging alcoholic.
Something about sanguine.
Yeah, you're like staggering around a little bit. You're pissed. You are.
Okay, so I'm not a functioning alcoholic just yet,
No.
but I'll get there.
Yeah. So, at your particular outburst, Salty pipes up, raising an eyebrow, and goes, "Well, that's an abrupt way to enter a conversation. Look, I'll tell you what.
Not the only one who's salty this morning. I apologize.
Well, you get that. You go and help out Rat. I'll keep my ear open for other work for you. But I doubt you'll find a lot of work until you kind of, at least sort of demonstrate that you're worth people's time.
Sure. And I believe you said something about this would be doing you a favor too, if I'm not correct.
Well, Rat
I'm
was
not
there
sure.
when I found myself as part of the RAF.
Sure.
I clawed my
Well,
way out.
You have been very kind to us, and if it's up, I'll run it past the rest of the group. Yeah, we'll see what they have to say.
It is your own. You're welcome to find work on your own, but it probably would be easier with my help. If you haven't noticed, this place is kind of a central hub. I hear a lot of things that come through, and everyone kind of knows that I keep my eye out for people that are worthwhile. So it's up to you what you do.
Gramps nods and goes back to the group. He says, and just fills them in basically what he just said.
Where would I find the lovely young lady who performs?
As I said, she'd be at home right now. I wouldn't expect her to be coming on in until I don't know, maybe 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Alrighty.
She's one of the more respectable people that visit this establishment.
I hate to ask this as soon as you've just said that, but I feel like the only one we may have rubbed the wrong way was the music lady. She wouldn't be the type to steal Ash's bracelet. Was it the bracelet that got stolen, Sandy?
Yeah.
So at that, Salty pipes up and says, No, she's not starved for trinkets. And to be
Insight check.
Yeah, sure, roll away. Hard to tell, but he seems on the level.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he says she's not starved for trinkets. She's not one that's particularly gaudy, well, except for her hair. Aside from that, she doesn't wear rings. She doesn't wear bracelets or bangles or anklets or necklaces. I don't even think she's got any earrings in. But ask her if you're feeling game.
Okay.
So, how do we all feel about what our next move is? Shall we go and help the barkeeper out?
Probably. I'm drunk though.
Jezza, what do you want to do?
Yeah, look, I think probably for ingratiating ourselves in this place, probably helping out the barkeep and what were the squatters called?
The RAF.
The RAF.
Yeah, the RAF.
And the leader of the RAF, or the unofficial leader of the RAF, his name is Rat.
Yeah. And besides, I have a feeling that if we go and find Von and say to him we can go kill some things, he might be a bit happy.
He looked a little worse for wear yesterday.
Alright, so I'll just quickly ask, Vonnir, what are you doing at the moment? Are you
I've been wandering around. I have no idea what to do with him because he's. I would just say Vonnir's really out of it.
Yeah, that's cool. But are you likely to go and find your companions, or are you, just leaving
companions? Right.
The people that you have travelled with thus far.
Yeah, but as a Vonnir.
Yeah.
I mean, all the shit that's happened.
I'm just asking the question.
No, definitely not.
Okay, not a problem. All right, so so what does the rest of the party do?
You guys go help the rat. I'm going looking for Vonnir.
Yeah, I was about to say, funny you should say that. I want to go find the dwarf because he's the only one of the party that's not here.
All right.
Oh, I'm happy to go ahead because I don't want to see him.
I missed what you. I can't hear Scott. What did you say?
He said that he wants to go find Vonnir.
Yeah, sorry. I'm lying down and I think I was blocking the mic a bit.
Yeah. Said you want to go find the dwarf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm just, I'm a bit lost. I'm very tired.
That's okay.
Are we all planning to go down to the raft people later? Are you guys interested in doing that, or just? Yeah, I want to do that too. I just don't want to go and tackle like a thing by myself. That's all. If you guys want to go and find Vonnir, we will come. Well, I will come.
Sounds good.
All right. So
before leaving, I would like to go to the bar and grab a beer and hope that it's not flat by the time we find Vonnir.
Okay. Alright, so what I'll get yous to do is someone roll me a investigation check, someone roll me a survival check, and someone roll me a perception check.
I have a +5 to survival.
I'll roll investigation, I guess.
I'll roll survival.
Certainly hope so. You're a ranger.
Oh, come on!
Investigation,
16's
survival.
not bad.
And who's rolling me the perception?
Well,
I mean, I've got a +5 to perception as well. Can I roll
I'll get
two?
someone else to roll.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm guessing Vonnir is not trying to hide in any way, shape, or form?
No, definitely not.
No. Okay. Based on those rolls, I'm going to say that roughly it takes everyone roughly about 40 minutes, and they stumble across Vonnir. So the beer's probably just starting to get a bit flat, but it's still drinkable.
Okay.
So yeah, you find Vonnir and he's moseying around in the street. I'm gonna say he's like, you find him sort of like in an alleyway over here somewhere.
Cool. Assuming he's seen us, I'll walk up and pat him on the shoulder. Otherwise, I'll announce my presence and then pat him on the shoulder and be like, "You look like you need to pick me up," and I offer him the beer.
After I look turn around, I see freaking Jezza, and I think can I just say I puke? Or what?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Or we could do it as a wisdom save. Actually, I'll tell you what. You can puke, and I'll get a wisdom save from you.
Yep.
Oh god.
Okay.
Metagaming. How do I relate to your past?
Metagaming, you
Anyway,
don't.
continue.
Yeah, so, yeah, the metagaming pigeon. So, yeah, you see this, dark-skinned tiefling, and, you throw up.
Well, I haven't ate for 2 days, so I'm guessing it's mostly water and stuff.
Yeah, so it's probably mostly bile, and yeah, so it burns your throat, and it leaves you with that acrid taste in your mouth, and you feel for a moment as if like the memory of everything would wash over you, but you managed to suppress it. It was close, but nearly overwhelmed you.
It's like, please just give me a moment.
Gramps pipes up and says, "We're gonna go kill some shit."
I kind of offer him some rations, having seen that his vomit was mostly bile.
No, thank you. I can't eat anything right now.
Fair enough. Look, come kill some stuff with us. It might improve your mood a little.
I guess I need the distraction.
Alright. So, are you heading on over to the slums?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I said, you just it's reluctantly just goes like, I guess I need the distraction.
Okay. No worries.
Does Vonnir still look pretty like damaged, or?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's looking like a very broken dwarf. This is a
Like,
man that
physical
has
damage, cuts and bruises and shit, not just mental.
he's got like some fading bruises and a light scratch that hasn't been cleaned up, but it's fine. Like it's healing. There's no problems. He's just got that slight little dry bit of blood that hasn't quite disappeared, flaked off.
So a cure wounds may not be required.
No, it's
Okay.
he's yeah, he's looking like a broken man that has not slept, and is having to deal with some pretty serious demons. He's I imagine anyway, he's wearing his feelings quite cleanly on his sleeves. He's in a spot.
Okay. Sorry, give me a sec. Let me just check my, Oh, I'm not on my sorcerer. Never mind.
You are a bard, good sir.
Yes, I am a bard. Okay, never mind. Scratch that plan.
Alright, so as you start walking into the slums, you notice that all the buildings that make up the slums are cobbled together with offcuts and leftovers from other building projects in Redwater. Some buildings are nothing more than a lean-to made with a bit of sailcloth and some broken timber beams. Asking around for Rat, you find most people ignore you. However, a couple point you towards a relatively large building towards the south and as far away from the stone wall as possible. The building is made primarily from driftwood and bits of stone and a slate roof. Even compared to most of the other buildings, it looks like a mansion. It's poorly constructed and poorly installed, but does still seem so much more extravagant than the surrounding buildings. As you approach the front door, you're stopped by a dwarf with no teeth and half of his fiery orange beard missing, showing horrible scarring. It's pretty obvious that this dwarf at some point in time had a terribly broken jaw that never healed properly. The dwarf lisps, what does you want with Wrath, Lord?
Good job.
Well,
Salty sent us.
Salty. Salty. Little bitch. Come on. So he takes you in, and you see Rat. He's a tall, gangly half-elf with filthy clothes and a face, filthy clothes and face. 2-day stubble and absurdly long nose hair, giving him a rat-like look. His left ear also looks like it's been partially torn off. It sticks out at an odd angle, and the tip of it has a chunk missing. You notice that he twitches non-stop. He looks at you all over and sucks on his gums for a moment before spitting a glob of blood on the floor, his yellowy teeth covered in blood from his bleeding gums, before piping up, in a surprisingly refined voice. Fresh-faced starewalkers, come to visit this rodent in his burrow. What can I do for you,
Salty sent us.
Haha, my friend Salty. We never had me in his establishment, but I'd never want to go. Look, if Salty sent you, it must be as a favor. And I'll tell you about what I've got in mind. So, over in the mangroves, there is a tunnel entrance that we've found. The raft that go near it looking for food generally don't come back, but one has. And we have reason to believe that that is where the Sanguine, Sahagwin, keep raiding us from. We've known for a while that the Sahagwin haven't been completely eradicated. We usually end up facing the ferocious onslaught, and sometimes they take a few people and leave, and other time there is extended bloodshed, but sometimes we're able to fight them off. Us Raf, we might not have much to our name, but some of us are a tenacious bunch. What I'd like you all to do is head into that hole and clear it out. Bring me the head of the biggest, baddest one that you can find, and I'll definitely find you some more work. I can't pay you anything, but please take anything and everything you find in there. What do you reckon? Does that sound like a thing you'd be interested in?
Sure.
Vonnir already just starts walking out.
Von's keen. Let's go.
Okay.
Before we get to the tunnel, I'd probably jump off tonight.
Yeah, that's just what I was about to say. Here seems like a pretty good point to leave it for the night. So, thank you everyone that has watched. I hope you all have enjoyed it. I was intending on there being a bit of combat in this one, but it just kind of blew out a little bit. So we'll pick up the combat on next Friday. Everyone's good for next Friday? Oh, Scott, you might not be.
Maybe, I'm not sure. Basically coin flip odds.
Yeah, no worries. Just let me know as soon as you know, and I'll work out a thing for it. It's probably not too much of a problem.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
it's not like we're in the middle of combat or anything.
Yeah, another reason why this is a good point to stop. Yeah, so we'll continue it on next Friday, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, and we'll see how the party handles Sahagwin. Should be fun. Yeah, I hope you have all enjoyed it. Hit that follow button.
The tricky one.
Yeah, hit that follow button. And if you want, jump onto the Questionable Boner Facebook page. I do update that pretty consistently with our scheduled timing, and also hit the remind me button on the events page. I update that all the time as well, so it'll keep you up to date with when we're planning on playing. Occasionally we have like a little sly fill-in thing where we might be doing something that changes when it is, but for the most part they're simple little things, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. But Anyway, I hope you have all had a great time, and I will see you all next time.
Yay!
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Night.